providing an alternative space. This is a spiritual home, a sanctuary, an asylum for those who are fed up with the clergy.
Finally, well done. Ladies and gents, this is an amazing, amazing thing. And when I stumbled across it, I literally had a release of breath. Like, wow. But then, of course, the usual shit ensues.
Interpret this definition of a mosque.
On the first day of prayer at Cape Town's open mosque, many express their deep unhappiness with what they believe is un-Islamic.
Yep. Was there ever any doubt?
The outrage from the majority of Muslims here centers around the founder, Dr. Taj Haji's interpretation of Islam. He believes it is acceptable that anyone, including women and homosexuals, can pray together.
The mosque is opening up in our...
Now this is significant and incredibly heartening at the same time. And if we can ignore the usual self-righteous Muppet show and try see this for what it is, it's an incredible new precedent that has been set here. It seems so utterly obvious that there would be an open mosque. However, there doesn't seem to actually be an open mosque in existence until now. Now I know I'll need to explain that assertion more fully, and I will. But let's get through the rest of the short clip.
Haji, a doctor of Islamic studies from Oxford University, is challenging the status quo.
We are cross-cultural. This is not a mosque for Pakistani Muslims or Malay Muslims or Indian Muslims or African Muslims or white Muslims. It is cross-cultural.
What Dr. Taj here is saying is, in a land with 11 national languages, being exclusionary and prescriptive is both regressive and, what's the word? Yes, stupid.
There are those who welcome this new approach.
Well, I'm actually here to support Professor Taj because I'm from the Unitarian Church, and we support the traditions that also speak to today's times.
In other words, being gay is okay, but stoning anyone for any other damn reason isn't.
I think people are cautious to come. I think that's probably the reason why they don't want to come, but I don't think that we should stay away purely because we have those kind of fears. I'm coming for the lecture and the message, that's all.
Well, I'm an open-minded Muslim, and changes only takes place when thinking changes.
Well, I just had a moment of national pride.
It's been very controversial amongst the Muslim communities here in Cape Town. Many say the open mosque goes against the teachings of Islam.
We are against what's happening here. If this place must be shut down immediately because we are not with this imam here.
Well, then you can just bugger off and, leave them alone. It's not as if conservative or orthodox Islam isn't very well represented. Leave them to their mosque.
Our duty as Muslims to stand against this, because Islam is pure, Christianity is pure, and Jewish is pure. Don't mix it up. Don't mix it up.
Okay, pride gone. I'm uncertain what this guy thinks this mosque is mixing with. It's still an Islamic mosque. It's not mixing with any other religion. It is, however, reforming Islam and evolving the way it is given out and preached, which is segueing neatly into the actual point of this whole video.
The mosque may well be shut down, not because of opposing religious beliefs. The Cape Town City Council alleges that Dr. Haji has not applied to use the building as a place of worship. For now, the mosque remains a lonely place for a very determined man. Nomsa Masego, BBC News, Cape Town.
Since its opening in late September, the mosque has been firebombed 3 times. I guess that's what they mean by enlightened. My question is, who the fuck tries to drive a 4x4 through someone's front door? And this isn't even any real news in South Africa. If no one was killed outright or, sliced in half or burned alive, then it's whatever. I genuinely don't know what the fuss is about. You'd think they're filming gay porn in there while operating a backstreet abortion clinic. Woosa, Zulu. Woosa. So what exactly is this violent intimidation opposing? He goes to say that Islam is about the Quran, and it's from the Quran that he preaches. He ignores the modern clerical footnotes, who, well, I guess they basically translate the allegorical nature into objective meaning. And that's the nice way of saying it. Another way to say it is those very interpretations that are keeping Muslim countries buried in the sands of time. He says all that stuff has zero pertinence to the Quran. He says the book rejects violence, doesn't mention the burqa, it embraces a role for women, and doesn't explicitly ban images of Muhammad, or, this is what I like, encourage Muslims to murder satirical cartoonists. His words, not mine. Now all this seems pretty benign, so it's unlikely he's getting this amount of opposition for that. Clearly what they find particularly objectionable is his attitude towards gays and women. So this is where I say, feminists, this is something you should be watching very closely, and you should be aggressively lobbying for its protection. So stop trying to find boogeymen under your bed while real men and women are out there doing your job. So this mosque is being treated like a pimple that needs to be squeezed. But that's not why it's interesting. It's interesting because it's an anomaly. It's like a third nipple or webbed feet. That's the reason why it's been nominated for urban redecoration 4 times. It just makes people feel uncomfortable. It's not natural to them. But no one would call you an idiot for thinking that the Western world is filled with mosques like these. Especially when you read an article like this one. This mental patient is in utter denial. He brushes off 1,000 years of practiced Islamic doctrine around homosexuality and how it views women by citing it as some people's problematic interpretations, inferring that today's Islam is far more liberal than we think and that hardline prejudice is isolated. And to back up his horseshit reasoning, he links the website of an inclusive mosque on which his house of cards is built. So let's have a look, shall we? Right, we go to the article. We go to the link to the mosque. It's the Mosque of Enlightenment, or Mosque for Enlightenment and Reform, or Light of Reform Mosque. Click on it. I'm actually quite excited and say, wow, this is not what I expected. It looks like someone's, home effort of making a website. If you go around books, see what's in the books. Nothing. Okay. Audio video, there we go. Nothing. Services and fees. Okay. Services, when the service is held. Counseling, lectures, marriages, schedule and appointment, scheduling instruction, calendar, payment center, registration, guidelines, and their refund policy. Okay, so I actually thought it was the services, the times and dates when they actually pray, or when people get together, or for community activities, but this is just actual services this person offers. And there's a refund policy. This is great. Okay, blogs. Okay, mental health blog. You might have to be a little mental to believe this is actually a mosque. Progressive Sharia. Okay, so there's some information on adaptations to the Sharia in a progressive way. Okay, the bio, this person. Vision, mission, don't care, table of content. Okay, so really there's basically no prayer times. There's no actual picture of a mosque or anyone who attends this mosque. And there's no address, it seems. Let's see, what's that? Poem. Okay. Quotes. So Andrew, you insane gerbil. Problem solved. A mosque without services or a dress. That's showing those waggly grey beards the power of social justice. However, look, I was actually very disappointed, genuinely disappointed with what I found on that website, and I made it a bit of a point to try to find some sort of visual something about this mosque. There's just no reference to it visually to make it, real. So after quite a lot of looking, I found one video of people inside the Light of the Reform Mosque. And here it is. And it's a goddamn AA meeting. In what looks like a church hall, replete with the church bulletin board. Yeah, well, there you go. And a really surly looking priest. So to feel welcome, gay Muslim men and women have to go to a church to pray. Need I say more? I think the point here is made. However, I want to show you one other example of an open and inclusive mosque, just so we can see how special Dr. Taj's open mosque in Cape Town really is. This announcement was made in late 2012, and it was put forward as Europe's very first gay-friendly mosque. Now, to spare you the details, they put mosque in inverted commas for a reason, because what it actually was a very, very small room in a Buddhist temple, and the group would get together every Friday evening to do the evening prayers. So this is a very similar situation to the first example, where to feel comfortable, people have to go outside of their faith for a space where they feel unthreatened, or they feel that they can actually express themselves and wear what they want, say what they want, and be who they are. This is why I'm confident in saying that Dr. Taj is helping set new precedents. The Cape Town Mosque is purpose-fitted to task and is singularly a mosque. Maybe not a fancy one, but a mosque nonetheless. He also has an evolved version of Islam, and that's huge. Any reasonable Western mind would assume someone along the way had created a revisionist version of, for the modern age. But we're wrong. The fact is, there's no accepted, revised, or reformed version of Islam. And the reasoning is as interesting as it is sad.
To say human rights is Western is to deny the universality of human rights.
Professor An-Naim is at the university's Center for Law and Religion.
Ijtihad is a term that is used to describe the creative juridical thinking and theological thinking. Now, this obligation is of every single Muslim, and it is not limited to scholars. Because every single Muslim have to identify at any given point what is required of her or him as a Muslim in the given situations. So originally, every Muslim had to read the Quran and try to understand and act accordingly and be responsible. Then you get a time when you have a class of so-called ulama, scholars, who want to mystify and to want to exclude. Ijtihad is very technical. You can't do this. Only we can do it.
He says that the ulama purposely mystified the Quran, Hadith and Sunnah in order to maintain their position of power and privilege.
And you have to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Who says so? So this notion that we have to have highly qualified people certified from certain institutions is a class sort of invention that tries to exclude people so that it can become the high priests of free thinking. And of course, once they have the control of it, they are not going to allow it, because free thinking undermines their own power and their own privilege.
Well, I think it is enough to end here, but just to say, Professor Haji's inclusive mosque is just simply one and only, and something that should be thought about and supported and even brought back to light, and maybe some others will actually follow suit. Well, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you find it interesting. And that, we'll see you again soon. Zulu out.